So he says women can easily get. Okay. Women can easily get laid. Mm-hmm. Men can't. Agree, disagree?
I agree.
Okay. So it's easier for women to get laid. Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
Agree.
100%.
Agree.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't need to like agree. It's a fact. Like that's what the data says, and it shows that it's out there that it is like harder on self-reported things. It is harder for men to get sexual access to women, and like that's fine. Like we're the pickier and we're the choosier sex. Have you ever heard the joke from men that nobody's ugly after 2 a.m.? Yeah, like it's real. But like when we're talking about these sex differences, we just have to be mindful about testosterone. Testosterone is a sexual impulse. We have testosterone too, but we have like 1/17th to 1/75th of the amount of testosterone as men. So like men value purity, but they also really want to have sex. Now, is it like helpful or beneficial for a man to be absurdly promiscuous and give himself sexual diabetes? Like, no. You know what I mean? But to say that, you know, men are insecure if a woman has a high body count, I think that's fair, because the men that are looking for relationships, that are looking to commit to women, of course they're not going to want to commit to a woman that has a promiscuous past, because behavior, your habits are a good indicator for how you'll behave in the future. But like, I just think that that's a really sexist thing that we do. You know, he doesn't like a promiscuous woman, so obviously he's insecure. I don't know what the female equivalent of that would be, of men saying anything like that. But, and it's also true, like, it comes down to the quality of men that you're hanging out with. Like, if you're hanging around men, like, if you hear that conversation where men are saying out loud, like, oh, yeah, I was with her, you can have her, then we need to be changing our friend groups. We cannot be socializing with, I mean, it's just, like, it's degenerate people. Even if it was a woman, like, if one of my girlfriends was like, yeah, I had him, you can have him too, I'd be like, this friendship is over because there's something wrong with you. Like, that's purely degenerate. We can't, like, be crossing streams. Like, this is inappropriate. Yeah, it's not cool. So.
Well, I think that I probably should have used a different word. I realize that the word insecure does have a negative connotation, but I believe insecurity is something every single human deals with, you know? We're all self-conscious. I'm just the first to admit it. Kanye, whatever.
What are you doing?
Like,
my ADHD cannot right now.
Like, I think that it's just a fact. Like, you know, it was not supposed to be like, oh, my, you know, this guy I'm dating can't care about the last guy I dated. Like, I didn't mean it so much as a negative thing, but I think that, you know, you asked, why do you think men care?
Yo, what are you doing, Rin?
Somebody was like, I was like doing this, and then people were like, Rin's like doing a BTS dance. So I was like, why not actually do a BTS dance?
All right.
Oh, just it distracts from the show though. But I was gonna say, like, the thing about it is, like, you're not the first woman to say it. Like, if you take time, and you could watch their content too, it is like a standard thing that when men have standards in relationships, we shame them, we shun them. When, like, if you have a brother or a father, and, like, let's say your father was dating, right? Like, you would want him to have standards. Like, that men are allowed to have standards, but we kind of, like, shame them for having them. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Multiple times that phrase comes up. He doesn't like promiscuous women, and I know you clarified later with 2 or 3. But, like, there's women that'll say, like, let's say, you know, her body count was, like, 25 or, like, 35, right? So if we present this situation, the scenario, and a man comes out and says, well, that's too much, I'm not okay with that, women will still call him insecure. There's some women out there, like, she could have a body count of like hundreds, right? That would be a
but
very
at that
small
point
minority.
I don't think it's about insecurity. At that point, I think it's just like, you've, you know, done this with so many different people, you must not value it, you must not respect yourself. That's how I see it, that's how I view it. So I think the insecurity part, I won't even go over that, because I think we're on the same page. Like, that's whatever.
I think we unpacked it.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely seems to me that as soon as a guy says, here's what I want in a girl, here's what I want in a woman, it's almost always going to be met with, that's either a misogynist or you're insecure, small dick energy. It's always going to be met with some sort of contempt, shaming. So it's just funny. Women are allowed to have preferences, standards, and boundaries, and men are not.
Yeah. Well, I actually think it's the total, I won't say total opposite, but I think that women are more outwardly allowed to have those boundaries and standards when it comes to having sex. And that's why we said, you know, women are the pickers and choosers, but men have it with marriage and relationships.
I actually kind of disagree with that.
Okay.
Well, women control access to sex, but, like, most men are invisible to most women. So actually most men don't have choice either when it comes to a relationship.
Okay. Yeah, that's
now
super
now
fair
like
to say.
top tier guys, yes, then they are the ones who decides who gets a relationship.
Right.
It does happen to be the case. Excuse me. It happens to be the case that most women are chasing after those top 10, top 20%
Right,
men.
because we're
And
taking
so
the ones that we choose that we would
once you've-
physically be intimate
yeah.
with, and then we're looking at that, small group of people and deciding who we
Yep.
would truly like to be in a relationship with. And then those guys have also been other females' choice to be intimate with.
Yep.
So then, you're nothing special when it comes to their dating pool.
Yeah. So if you've said yes to them, a lot of other women are prepared to say yes to them. So they have really no incentive to commit.
So what's your dating advice? Say no? Keep saying no?
Well, I
What was
think
the
one,
point?
have a reasonable self-assessment of where you stand in the sexual marketplace. So I think you guys, none of you said you were 10s, but we do have girls that come on the show. They not
Yeah.
10s that say they're 10s, and it's like
Do you tell them right there? You're like,
I tell them you're not a 10, and they'll fight me on it. I'm not rude about it. I'm just like, and I don't give them a rating,
Yeah.
but I'll say you're not a 10.
yeah. Who is a 10? Who's your celeb crush?
Eric, do you want to pull up the Instagram?
This has been discussed before.
We just have, this is Eric's saved Instagram. So these are like, I wouldn't say they're 10s, but they're like, I would consider very attractive,
yeah.
like 8, 9, 10. So we got Wolfie Cindy here. Keep
Oh,
going.
yeah.
She's beautiful.
Just keep scrolling, Eric. Scroll down, scroll down, scroll down.
Is that Katarina Dem?
Probably, I don't know. They're just, anyways,
Okay, so now I have a question.
exceptionally attractive women.
These girls are so hot, super hot. The girls that are posting photos like that, is that wife material? Like, does that not, because as a girl, and this is funny to think about, if my dude were on the internet posting just, totally naked pictures all the time, I would be like, yeah, like objectively he's attractive, but it, in my like dating rate, like you go to a 0. I wouldn't want to be with someone like that. Whereas for men, like you see that and you're still like, oh, she's a 10. Like the second you see her posting that, that's not a 10 from me anymore. But these women are also making a lot of money and making a bag, and I respect that. Like,
I don't.
And they probably don't look like that. And have you seen, what's her name, Wolfie Cindy? Have you seen her in real life?
She's pretty.
She's pretty bad, but she doesn't look like that in real life.
Well, yeah, obviously there's some Photoshop and makeup and
so there's
filters
that,
and
and
all
then
that.
the good point that Lindsay made when girls, I personally, my boyfriend, if he likes a girl in a bikini pic, I'm like, don't fucking like that picture. But I don't post pictures like that, so I expect him not to like those. So what's your opinion? Would you wife up Wolfie Cindy with her posting pictures like that on her Instagram?
Would I wife up Wolfie Cindy? I mean, I don't know her. I haven't met her, so I.
From what you
great
know.
personality. You love her. She checks everything,
But she
she
posts.
still posts.
She's a
But she's an OF.
Oh,
like,
she's a whore.
She like
Wolf,
she
I
has
don't
like
think she has OF.
like 20 plus body count, and she's posting that. So no, ignore OnlyFans. She's 20 plus body count, and she's posting that on.
Does Wolfie Cindy have a 20 plus body
Probably.
count? You think so? I don't know.
She's in Hollywood. I'm guessing. I don't know. She could have 5 bodies. I'm just in the instance that she did, would you wife her up? I'm just asking.
yeah.
Because of the Instagram photos or because of her hypothetical body count? Because she's a model, like she is a model, so the photos is like. I mean, to me, that's not. She doesn't do OF like she's.
But she's
a
not a
proper
real
model.
model.
Not a model. No,
Arguably,
like,
she's not a real model.
No,
This
she's-
is like
I think
social media
she's closer to a
BS.
porn star.
She's an Instagram model. She's
Or
not
an
a model.
influencer.